This is the brand new Stealth Pro from Turtle Beach. In this video, we're going to review the features and performance of this premium gaming headset and discuss why it just might be the perfect choice for serious gamers looking for the ultimate audio experience. So it's designed for use on Xbox, but really it's a multi-platform headset. It's going to work on PS4 and 5, Windows PC and Mac, Nintendo Switch, and mobile devices as well. Really quick, let's take a look at what comes in the box. So we got our detachable microphone boom right here. There's a 3.5mm connection on the end, and the whole thing's pretty bendy and flexible, so that should help you be able to get it right into the position you want it to be in. Next up, we got the headphones, and I'm just gonna put these off to the side for now. Down here we have some accessories. This thing's the wireless transmitter, and it also comes with a spare battery. This is a USB-A to USB-C cable. It's got a soft rubber finish on there. And then this is another smaller USB-A to USB-C cable. This little box has a travel bag in it that'll fit the headset, transmitter, and all the cables. It's got some Turtle Beach branding on there, and it feels like some nice thick material. Should be pretty durable. And finally, we got our usual paperwork here, including a Turtle Beach logo sticker, a quick setup guide, and some other stuff. One of the first things I noticed with the Stealth Pro was the weight. So before we do anything else, we gotta throw it on the scale. Hopefully I can get these things to balance. There we go. Looks like the headset's just over 400 grams. And that's without the mic, which itself weighs another, looks like about 15 grams. And just for fun, let's see how much the transmitter and battery unit weighs. That's about 128 grams. So this whole package of hardware is really pretty heavy, but it has something to do with the materials they used on here. The headband and yokes are made of metal and feel well made, and I think that's a big part of why the weight is what it is. It gives the whole headset a nice high-end premium feel and should make it more durable. Now the ear cups and outer headband are all plastic, but I think that's pretty normal even for high-end stuff like this. If it were all metal, it'd probably be too heavy to be comfortable. Speaking of comfort, the headband's finished with a squishy leatherette pad. It's soft and feels pretty comfortable, but the big surprise for me is how comfortable the ear cushions are. Turtle Beach says they're glasses friendly, and I don't wear glasses, but I tend to believe them. These things feel like soft pillows on the side of my head. It's really comfortable for a leatherette cushion. I'm usually a fan of cloth because it breathes more and doesn't get as hot and sweaty, and these ones do tend to get hot and sweaty, but you know what? In this case, I think it's a trade-off I'm willing to live with because the comfort's just so good on here. There's both tilt and swivel movement on the yokes, and they can go all the way into a lay flat position. And then there's the usual telescopic length adjustment with some marks to help get things lined up, but there's no hard stops or tactile bumps at each level. Everything just smoothly glides back and forth. The right ear cup has all the controls, including the power on and off button and dedicated buttons for Superhuman Hearing and Bluetooth. The other side has two remappable inputs. There's this middle button with the Turtle Beach logo, and then this outer ring that rotates freely in either direction. You can remap these to a number of different preset functions in the Audio Hub app, and you can even have separate assignments for PC and console modes if you want. The ring's a pretty cool feature. It adds some quick access to a function of your choice, but I wish the implementation was better. Like, this thing feels really cheap and plasticky, and it even wiggles back and forth a tiny little bit when I touch it. Like, for something that's supposed to be high-end, I wish they did a better job on this. That seems like a bit of a missed opportunity there. It just feels out of place on what otherwise seems like a good quality product. Over on the left side, we have the microphone attachment port, and it comes with this little rubber cover to cap it off if you're not planning to use the mic. I like it. The mic plugs right in there and it can rotate up and down. It's got flip to mute function, so up is muted and down is hot. And then there's also two concealed mics built right into the headset that you can use if you don't want to attach the boom. And all these mics support noise cancellation in one way or another to help reduce background noise. So I'll show you what that stuff sounds like a little bit later in the video. Now here's the cool part. The outside of this ear cup is actually a magnetic cover. Pull it off and it gives you access to the battery compartment. Why is that cool? Because they give you two swappable 12-hour batteries. So you always have one in the headset and one in the charging station. When the battery gets low, it's just a quick swap and then you're back up to full power. Plus the system supports quick charge where you can get 3 hours of battery life with just 15 minutes of charging time. Plus you can plug the headset in with the included USB-C cable. So there's really no reason where you should run into a situation where you can't use the headset because of power. The charging station's also the wireless receiver. The headset runs on a 2.4 GHz wireless signal and it has Bluetooth as well. The station connects to your console or PC with one of the included USB cables, and then there's a secondary charging port on there too. And then there's a little toggle switch on there to change modes from Xbox to PC. If we pop the ear cushions off, we can get a look at the big 50mm nano clear drivers with a frequency response of 10 to 22,000 Hz. Bigger drivers can result in higher volume levels and more powerful bass, but it doesn't necessarily mean better sound quality overall. But Turtle Beach did an awesome job with the tuning on these. I did some side-by-side comparisons with my Sennheiser headphones, which to me set the benchmark for sound quality, and it was ridiculously close. I still think the Sennheisers edge it out like a tiny bit overall, but it's so close that it doesn't really matter. I had to go back and forth between the two like a dozen times to be able to make up my mind. And that's a big deal, especially when you realize the Sennheisers are wired versus the Stealth Pro that's wireless. There's no question about being able to hear all the subtle nuances in game, from footsteps to weapon reloads. It's all there, and the sense of direction is spot on too. It does a good job of bringing out the mids and the highs while still having deep and punchy bass that makes explosions sound like they're coming from your backyard. This is a wireless gaming headset that sounds as good or better than a lot of headsets that are wired. What you're listening to here is the set of built-in mics. They're built like physically into the headset. You can't see them. And they're clear enough to be usable, but they do pick up quite a bit of background noise. I'll stop talking for a second so you can hear what that sounds like. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the Audio Hub app and I'm going to enable the noise gate, which should start to reduce some of that. So I'll stop talking again so you can see the difference. So that's with noise gate enabled, and I do think it does a fairly decent job at removing some of that background noise. So it is gonna kind of improve it if you're using these microphones. So now you're listening to the smart noise canceling TrueSpeak microphone. It's the boom mic here. And this one's supposed to naturally reduce background noise. And I do think it's doing a much better job than those basic built-in mics. And I'll be quiet for a second now so you can hear that. So there's definitely less background noise here with this one, but at the same time, for whatever reason, I can't get that noise gate feature to work that helped out those other mics that are built in. So I don't know if it's supposed to, or if there's just an issue with the software for me or something like that. But anyways, it doesn't seem to make a difference, and I tried it like a dozen times. So what you hear from this one is what you can expect to get without any enhancements or features or anything like that. Neither one of the mics on here are going to produce studio quality audio recordings, that's for sure, but they are definitely clear enough for in-game comms, which is what they were designed for. This may be a top-tier gaming headset, but the fact remains you can get much better audio recording quality from a dedicated standalone desktop microphone, even some that are pretty affordable these days. So if voice recording quality is your top priority, I would still recommend going for a standalone mic. While we're on the topic of noise, let's talk about that noise canceling feature that they have on here. So basically what these things are doing is listening to the background noise around you and then trying to reduce it. And Turtle Beach claims it's able to do that up to 25 decibels at 100 Hz frequency. I tested it out in my studio here by running a stress test on my PC with it sitting right next to me, and that pushes it to its limits. Basically the GPU, all the fans on the radiator start going like 100%, and it makes quite a bit of noise. Turning on that ANC makes a huge difference. It takes that noise and reduces it quite a bit, but it doesn't actually eliminate it. I can still hear it, but it's brought it down so much that, you kind of forget about it, or you can tune it out basically. It's not like these fans are whining in my ear anymore and driving me crazy. So if you live in a house where there's a lot of noise going on, you live with some noisy people, or if you want to use these in public or on an airplane or something like that, this is a feature that I think can make a pretty big difference for you. It can reduce that background noise and help you focus on your game, your work, whatever you're doing. Being a Turtle Beach headset, you also have the option to turn on Superhuman Hearing, which brings out the highs and tries to let you hear things in the game like footsteps and stuff like that at like a super enhanced level. It's supposed to give you an edge over the competition. And it does work, but it makes your audio sound terrible. So I've always just, I don't really use it because I'd rather hear nice, clean, good sounding audio than get any kind of advantage from destroying the audio, if that makes any sense. Turtle Beach made a pretty solid performing headset with the Stealth Pro. It's their current flagship, and it sits in a price category that you'd expect from a flagship model. But I do think serious gamers that can really take advantage of all the features that they jam-packed in here are probably gonna be pretty happy with it. I'm gonna have the full specs, details, purchasing links, all that stuff for you down in the description, so check that stuff out if you're interested in finding out more, and get subscribed for more content, and we'll see you soon.